the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network. Good morning, it's June 19th, 2024. I'm Alex in the KMNN studio in New York. Today is Juneteenth, the day that we remember and celebrate the Emancipation Proclamation, which ended slavery in the Confederate States during the Civil War. It's been celebrated since the 1800s, but it didn't become a national holiday until just 3 years ago. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. It took years for it to fully take effect because the Civil War was going on. But the proclamation meant that as Union troops advanced through the South, any enslaved people they came across were immediately free. Even after the Confederate general Robert E. Lee surrendered in April 1865, there was still a Confederate army in Texas that wouldn't give up. They fought until June. Finally, on June 19th, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and declared that all enslaved people in Texas were free. The next year, what was probably the first Juneteenth anniversary celebration was held in Galveston. Texas was the last part of the Confederacy to be defeated, but it became the first part of the country to celebrate Juneteenth. And in 1980, it became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday. In 2021, it became a federal holiday nationwide, officially known as Juneteenth National Independence Day. So happy Juneteenth, everybody. The spacecraft Voyager 1 is more than 15 billion miles away from Earth and getting farther away every second. It is the most distant man-made object from Earth. It was the first spacecraft to leave our solar system, and it's so far away it takes 22 and a half hours for a radio message to get from us to it, and vice versa. Voyager was launched in 1977, almost half a century ago, so it's not surprising that it might be having a few problems. As we've reported here, Voyager started talking nonsense last fall. The radio signals it sent back to mission control just stopped making sense. It turns out a chip in one of its computers failed. Engineers here on Earth managed to help Voyager fix itself enough so it could send back messages that made sense starting in April. And now it is finally sending back readable data from all of its scientific instruments, giving us a look at interstellar space once more. Most of the U.S. is baking in a heat wave this week, and we're not the only ones. This summer is starting out hot in places all around the world. A new project in Africa, in the country of Sierra Leone, is trying something new to protect people from heat. It's putting mirrors on their roofs. Not like the mirror in your bathroom, but super shiny metal panels. They replace the dark, heat-absorbing metal that many people in that area have on their roofs. The dark metal soaks up the sun's rays and turns homes almost into ovens. Researchers hope the new shiny panels will keep things cool for people in some of the hottest places in the world. It's riddle time. Monday's riddle was, if a bear walks 1 mile south, 1 mile east, and 1 mile north, and ends up right back where it started, what color is the bear? The answer is white, because the only place a bear could do that is at the North Pole. There aren't any bears in the South Pole. All right, today's riddle, what starts with a T, ends with a T, and has T in it? Answer on Friday. The very first organized baseball game was supposedly held on this day in 1846. There was a match in Hoboken, New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from New York City, between two New York City clubs, the Knickerbocker Baseball Club and what was probably the Gotham Club. We're not 100% sure who it was. Now, it wasn't that baseball had never been played before. A game like it already existed. and before that, a game called Rounders that was played in England. But at the time, every club came up with its own rules. The June 19th, 1846 game was played following a new set of 20 rules that the Knickerbockers came up with. One of the new rules said that runners had to be tagged out. Before that, players would throw the ball and try to hit the runner. Ow! Another rule said that the foul ball gave you a do-over. Well, the Knickerbockers lost the game 23-1, but the rules caught on. They were used when the first National Baseball Organization formed in 1857, and this New York style of baseball was spread around during the Civil War when Union troops had time off. The Knickerbocker Baseball Club went out of business eventually, but its name lives on in basketball with the New York Knicks. The heat will be sticking around in the Northeast today, maybe some rain later on. Rain around the Gulf Coast, possibly heavy in Texas. And after a cold night, Montana, Wyoming, and the states around them should warm up a little bit today. But there's still a lot of cold air pushing down all the way to Colorado. That's the show. Thank you very much for listening. Please, right now, go subscribe to the Kids Morning News Network. And grown-ups, how about becoming a supporter? There's a link in the episode description. I'll be back on Friday. I hope you are too. From the KMNN Newsroom, this is Alex, signing off.